Hello everyone. Sorry, I had to cut it short at 30 minutes, so I'll take it from there. So I started to take my power back, and since then I have been gang stalked, I have been lied on, I have been set up, people digging into my details, people digging into my life, trying to mock me. I mean, those are the strategies of the enemy: mockery, lies, backbiting, whatever you call it, set up, whatever, to destroy me. Because I want to share that story, because I've been through it, and I know that if I can learn from other people can learn from me. That's why I started this channel. It was to educate people. I just realized that I'd actually been there, which is why I think it's such a burden for me to talk about it. Because I've experienced it, even though I didn't remember, but somehow it shaped who I am today. And I think the cutoff point is that even as I was praying, even from 3 years ago, I knew what I had to do. Like, what I had to do was, for whatever reason, before I can completely get to the end of that cycle, because it's a cycle. It's a cycle in life, and you have to break it. It's like a generational thing or whatever it is. You have to break it. So I knew I had to break it, and to break it, I have to completely step out of who I am and remove any trace, any narcissistic trait in me. Like, we all have narcissistic trait, right? Sometimes we can be selfish, sometimes we get angry, sometimes. I knew I had to walk that path of every single narcissistic trait I had in me. It had to come off, which means everything I know about myself, I had to drop it and start over from the beginning. So everything I knew, I had to unlearn and start to learn afresh. It's been a very tough journey. But if I could have escaped it for 3 years, I'm trusting. I'm trusting the divine. And I'm saying divine and not saying just God, because, there's God, there's the Son of God, there's Jesus Christ. Like I said, I'm of the Christian faith, and I'm talking about spirituality. So please bear with me. I'm not imposing my faith on anyone. I'm just speaking for myself. So, and the angels, there's your ancestors that love you, that watch over you. There's also, so in combination, it's the divine. So I'm going to be referring to the divine. So why not trust in the divine, that I can actually share this. I can actually, which I'm not even, well, I can actually share my story and I'll be safe. So let me put it that way. And my story is not one, like I said. I mean, that I know of, that I can, but really and truly, I've actually, to be honest, it's not even 13 years. I'm talking about 13 years in terms of relationships, like when I've actually realized this is what I'm going through. Do you understand? So, but I've literally gone through it all my life. I said it in one of my videos, like in gang stalking, in one of my old videos. Like, even in high school, I went through major gang stalking over lies. It was all lies. I was almost expelled from school over lies. So this is something I remember in primary school. I experienced something of that sort as well. So it's been my life story of people telling hella lies. Yes, everybody makes their mistakes. Everybody does whatever it is. But these people, they take it, blow it out of proportion, make it seem like you're the devil, make it seem like something is wrong. Why? It used to bother me, but I'm not bothered anymore. Whatever it is that can be dug up, hey, it means it's supposed to come out. Nothing is ever hidden. Nothing is hidden. So it might as well come out. If it's going to come out through them, might as well. So anybody can say anything. Like I said, I took myself off Instagram because it is not about the paparazzi of it. What will give me joy is knowing that somebody else is learning from my experience and they're becoming a better person. That's what it's all about. That's what I really care about. And I think why I went into the details of where I'm coming from is because I think what I started to experience was karma. That's what I think. Because that was the energy I put out to the universe. So that I got that back in large sums over 13 years. In large sums. So I think what had happened is maybe God took me through that angle because I'm supposed to talk about this. So basically, mine wasn't a distress call of the child. I was in my mother's womb. And when she told me that story, honestly, I never, till about 48 or 24 hours ago, I never thought anything of it. I mean, I'd mentioned it to one or two people before, but because I was trying to understand it, I didn't know what it meant. Do you understand? So I didn't even remember that part of my life when I was young and all that. I like after that illness, it was like I blocked it out because that illness was so grave. It was a heart-stopping illness. Let me put it that way because I don't want to be negative. So heart-stopping, literally. But I came through. Maybe for a second, maybe for 2 seconds, maybe for a minute, maybe for 10 minutes. I don't know how long. But I was so sick that was the turning point. Like I said, I didn't know what all this meant. It wasn't until I went into deep digging and prayers that I actually remembered I'd blocked it out. I didn't even remember that part of because I don't remember ever wanting to ever take revenge on anyone. Even with everything I'm going through and I see the people doing it, I won't take revenge on them. It's not my fight. It's really not my fight. For whatever reason why I've had to experience it, it's still not my fight. So I'm not going to take revenge. I will leave it to God to deal with it. So I blocked out that part of my life. I didn't even remember because I can't imagine looking at somebody that is suffering and I'm like, I don't care. It's not me. It's not me. It's never been me. Even though now I've set my boundaries. So what had happened, like I was saying before, I went into extreme dumb extreme empathy, extreme. I'm not lying. If I see you with a knife and you're about to stab me at night and you ask me for painkiller so that you have strength to stab me, I will give it to you. It's that bad. Extreme empathy. So I wasn't balanced and all sorts of things kept happening. So when I took my power back, I started to learn that I had to balance out my energies. You can be too good and you can be too bad. Do you understand? Too good is being an empath, but you're a very weak empath. Too bad is being a narcissist, if that makes any sense. Somehow, as a whole person, you need to be able to balance both. Or I needed it as an empath because being an empath means you're a sensitive being. Do you understand? You're sensitive to everything, basically. You can feel everything. Like you can feel people's without them saying it. I can sit somewhere and literally just start crying and I will not know why because somebody else is sad. Like it's that bad. Do you understand? And I'm like high up there sensitive. So I try to ignore certain things. But what I really needed was to balance out my energies, to remember who I used to be, not the extreme bad, but to be able to set boundaries, to be able to be strong enough to set boundaries. Do you understand? I'm sorry, I think something got into my eyes. Okay. To be able to be strong enough to set boundaries because I couldn't talk. But like I said, people would shit on me. Literally. I won't say a word. I let them. I didn't know why. I didn't like it. Deep down, deep down, I would be furious. Then I'll probably complain to someone else, and not because I wanted to talk about them, but I was furious. But I'll still be feeling bad to do anything to tell that person off. So I would rather talk to somebody else. Like, can you imagine what this person did to me? Not realizing that person will take it back, take it to the other person. Like, so I was in the middle of I was surrounded. I didn't understand my terrain. I was just going, just dumb, just not setting boundaries, just letting, and you know, literally, like, an empath is the narcissist burger. Like, do you understand? Like, think about somebody that is ready to give, and think about someone that is ready to take. So it works hand in hand. Do you understand? Do you understand? And you know, most of the time, if you're a weak empath, you'll be very codependent. You'll be a codependent. A codependent is like it's like the spirit of Ahab. You just allow crap. Do you understand? You know what this person is doing is wrong, but you just allow them because I don't need the stress. Do you understand? Like, that was what I kept telling myself. I don't need the stress without realizing I wasn't setting boundaries. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. I was letting people walk all over me now. The moment I stopped, I was the enemy. Because no, we're used to shitting on you. We're used to taking advantage of you. We're used to doing bad stuff to you. And we're used to you keeping quiet and taking it. So the minute I said, no, I'm not going to take it anymore, I became the enemy. Gang stalking can literally run someone mad. And if I wasn't a strong person, they would have made me believe I was actually mad. Because I've had like 2, 3 experiences recently, like I'm talking about weeks ago. Like, somebody would say something to me and I would say, oh, something. I'd say, no, I didn't say that. Okay. Really? I was standing right in front of you and you said it. Oh, no, I didn't say that. Like, intense gaslighting from people. Like, and you know, the worst part is, the most painful bit is when you're looking at people that you've only ever showed love to, that you've only ever loved, that you've only ever been good to, and they turn around and do that to you. Wow. But luckily, I think I had to experience all that so that I could remember that once upon a time, I had that energy where I didn't give a shit. Excuse my French. Where really, I had to get to, and that's when you become a strong empath, where you really do not care what they come at you with. I don't. I am trusting God that I will share this story and people will learn from it. If it takes a year for them to see it, it takes a year for them to see it. But I will share it. Because some of the stories I learned from were posted like 4 years ago, some 5 years ago, some 10 years ago, whatever it is. I'm just exaggerating, but what posted a long time ago, I found it 3, 4 years later. So, but I believe it's something people can learn from. Like I said, maybe as I walk through it, and because I think to break that cycle, my instruction was to make sure I have 0 narcissistic traits, and that's hard. That's hard because imagine, like, you don't want to tell somebody where you are and you don't want to lie about it. Do you understand? So it's hard. Like, everybody tells white lies or whatever it is. Do you understand? So it's really hard. It's really hard. But I am trying and I'm working through it. And I realize it's the only way I can break that cycle. I can't have an iota of narcissistic trait in me. Which, I mean, we all do. There are times where we get greedy. There are times where we get selfish. There are times where we get, do you understand? But I can't have that. So that was my journey. I wasn't going to go too deep into what narcissism, but I think a lot of people are experiencing it. I mean, I know because I'm always on YouTube, so I know. I've heard stories. I mean, I've read and listened to stories. So a lot of people are going through it, and it might be a cycle for you. I don't know what your experience is, but it might be a cycle for you. And to break it, what I'm doing is going back to the drawing board, praying it out, because of the sort of narcissism I tend to experience more often, which is the covert one, which you would never know. Like I said, I've walked into so many traps, and it was right after I was in it that I realized that I was being set up. So anyway, basically, what I'm trying to say is, I don't know what your story is, and I don't know what you're doing to overcome it, but I can tell you this: it's not even so much about religion. Whatever it is you do, whatever it is you practice, whatever religion, like I've always said, I've never been somebody to look at religion. I'm somebody to look at somebody's heart, at a person's heart. Who are you? What does your heart say? How do you treat other people? How do you feel about other people? Your religion is not. I mean, however people resonate, because I believe that not, if I were a Muslim today, I wouldn't even be close to God. That's the truth, because I don't know anything about it. Even though my father was my father was Muslim. So, I mean, I grew up in an Islamic family, but I don't know anything about it. I also grew up being Christian, so, and that's what I'm used to. So, your religion is not the problem. Anybody can go through anything. What matters is what you're doing to handle it, because you have to do something. Narcissistic abuse is not, I don't know how I'm here today. Which is why I have to constantly be in an attitude of gratitude with the divine, and I have to be on the right path. I have to stay on the right lane, because I have to beat this. I have to fight it. I have to get away from it, whatever it is. And to do that, I have to walk on a certain path, because I can't keep going through it. It's enough. To walk that path, I can't bring in other people. I can't bring in other energies, because I'm also learning. I'm still in a place of learning. And I have to set my boundaries, because I'm also a sensitive being, and other people's energy will affect mine. So, you have to do something. If it's intense, the only way to beat it is to call on the divine. Every religion has their divine, I guess. Even if you're an atheist, you know that there's something, there's a force bigger than us. Call on the divine and try to remove every iota of narcissistic trait in your life. That's if it's intense. Like, everybody goes through it, don't get me wrong. Everybody meets maybe some sort of narcissist or whatever it is at some point. Everybody has some iota of narcissistic trait. If it is intense like mine, you have to remove every single iota of narcissistic trait in you, which is you can't tell lies. I mean, yeah, you will make mistakes, don't get me wrong. Like, you can't be, nobody's perfect, you're not God. So anyway, so you will make mistakes, but you have to make a conscious effort to remove greed, to remove everything, to remove, do you understand? No matter what you face, no matter the situation, you can't go back if you really want to fight this. That's if it's intense, like mine. Mine's a bit intense. Not a bit, really intense. So, but I'm getting through it. I'm still here, and I'm sharing the story. And I really hope if I help one person, I've done a lot. So, welcome back to Isadora. Have a beautiful, blessed week. This is the end of my story for now. So maybe my next video, I'll be able to share more. Thank you. Have a beautiful week. Namaste. Peace.